I sell a link inside an article I have already written for $250. If you ask me to publish a fresh guest post from you on the same site instead, I would charge you less than that, and I would be considerably happier about it. That gap is the entire subject, and it is not a market quirk. It comes from one structural fact about the two products that neither side of the transaction has much reason to say out loud. So here is the verdict first, and then I will spend the rest of this arguing myself into it. The niche edit is the better product, and most people buying one are not getting one. What usually gets sold as an edit is a link dropped into a page with no more standing than a page published this morning, at twice the price, and the only thing separating the two is a date. I buy placements, and I also sell them, and I keep a written record of both directions, so I see the pitches coming in and the requests going out and the places where those two stories fail to line up. The only difference that actually matters, strip away everything in the pitch and there is exactly one structural difference between these two things. A guest post is a new page. It is born with nothing, no links pointing at it, internal or external, no history, no visitors, nothing at all. Whatever it eventually accumulates, it has to earn from a standing start, on a site that has no particular reason to help it. A niche edit is a link into a page that already exists. That page may already have things pointing at it. It may already get read. If it does, your link inherits that on the day it goes live, instead of waiting years for it. That is the whole thing. Everything else is commentary. It is also why an edit costs more, and why a seller with any sense would much rather sell you a guest post, where guest posts actually landed. Here is the part that never appears in the pitch. When a site publishes your guest post, it usually goes into a section of that site nobody visits, a contributors folder, a guest post folder, or straight into the blog archive under this month's date, where it sits on page 1 of the index for about 4 days, and then it does not. Go and look at where the last few guest posts on any of these sites ended up. Then check whether the site links to them from anywhere at all. Its own navigation, its own related post block, any older article on the same subject. Usually nothing does. Internal linking is a subject of its own, and I have gone at it properly elsewhere. The one line that matters here is that a page nothing links to is a page nothing finds, and that includes the site's own owner. So you have paid for a page that starts at 0 on a site that will not spend a single internal link helping it get anywhere. Nobody has defrauded you there. That is simply what the product is, and the price mostly reflects it. The sites that will publish anything, the other guest post failure is the one people do recognize, and they still walk into it. There is a whole tier of sites that exist to publish guest posts. They will take yours, they will take the next one, and your page joins a pile of near identical pages written by people who each visited that site exactly once. The check takes 2 minutes and almost nobody runs it. Open the site's most recent 20 posts. Read the author names. Read the third paragraph of each. Da di marani mahal nen, Welov Glense Imandining, Fernandvenitivalans I Preternstensti, Iwan person product, you now know what you are buying. A slot on a page that nobody was ever going to read. The other tell is the rules. 800-word minimum, 1 do follow link permitted, no gambling, no adult, no crypto. Read that as a rate card with the price taken off it. An editorial standard would have something to say about the subject rather than the word count. I will give guest posts one genuine advantage though, and it is bigger than people credit. You write the page, all of it, the framing, the paragraphs around your link, the sentence it sits in, the anchor. Nobody can look at your link and identify it as the bit that was added because none of it was added. The whole page arrived at once. Hold on to that because it is exactly what goes wrong with the other ones. What you are actually buying with an edit, you are paying for a page's existing standing. So the entire purchase depends on the page having any. Which means you check the page, not the domain. I have written a whole vetting checklist, and this is the single line from it I would keep if I could only keep one. A site can have 7,800 referring domains while the specific article you are being sold a link inside has 0. Those are not the same asset. You are being quoted the first number and sold the second. So pull what points at that URL specifically. Then check whether the site links to that page from anywhere itself. If its own owner has not bothered to link to it internally in 5 years, he has already told you what he thinks it is worth. And read it. Actually read it, as a person rather than as a buyer. Is this a page that would exist if nobody was selling links on it? The sentence that was not there before. Now the specific risk with edits, and it is the one that stopped me recommending them casually. An inserted link looks exactly like what it is. A sentence that was not there before, sitting inside a paragraph that did not need it. You have read hundreds of these. An article about something adjacent, moving along fine, and then paragraph 9 mentions that for teams handling this at scale, some product is a popular option. Then paragraph 10 carries on as though paragraph 9 never happened. As on that, a machine catches it. A human catches it instantly, and humans are the ones you actually want reading that page. The date compounds it. An article from 2019, never updated, every other outbound link on it pointing at things that existed in 2019, and one sentence recommending something that launched last year. The good version of an edit is quiet. The paragraph was already about your subject. Your link either joins something already sitting there or replaces a mention of a competitor that has since gone out of business. Nothing about the sentence changed shape to accommodate you. That version does exist. It is rare, it costs more than the number on the list, and you will not find it in a spreadsheet of available inventory. From the chair on the other side, now let me tell you what all this looks like when you are the one selling. Guest posts are far easier to sell, and it is not close. A guest post cost me a new URL and 20 minutes. It does not touch anything that currently works. If it ages badly, or the buyer's business turns into something I would rather not have next to my name, I delete the page and the problem is gone. An edit touches an article I wrote and may be relying on. Every one is a small permanent decision about an asset I already own, which produces the rule that explains this entire market. The pages a seller is willing to edit are, by construction, the pages that seller does not care about. Read that twice if you are buying. The good pages are missing from the menu. They are missing from everybody's menu. A page bringing its owner inquiries earns more by being left alone than by renting out a sentence, so it never appears in the inventory list you were sent. I have broken that rule once on a page that was genuinely working for me, and it is the transaction I would most like back. What buyers actually ask for is its own subject, and I have been through it in detail. The short version is that hardly anybody asks which of these two they are getting. They ask for do follow, they ask for an authority number, and they ask for their brand name in the anchor. Nobody asks whether the page has anything pointing at it. After the money moves, one paragraph on this because it applies identically to both, and it is a separate subject with its own video. Everything a seller can do to your link after payment, they can do to either format, the attribute can change, the paragraph can get rewritten around you, the page can be deleted in a call that had nothing to do with you. Check at 30 days, put a duration in writing, and go and watch the one where I take that apart properly. So which one? My position, and I will take the arguments. If you have personally read the page, seen what links to it, and understood why it has the standing it has, buy the edit. That is the better asset, and it is worth the premium, which is real but smaller than the difference between what those two things actually are. If you cannot be bothered to do that, buy the guest post. It is a downside recommendation. When a guest post does nothing, you are out $70. When an edit does nothing, you are out $250, and from outside you cannot tell which of those two things happened. The exception is relevance you would have to manufacture. If there is genuinely no page on that site about your subject, an edit has nowhere honest to go. Forcing it into the nearest loosely related article is precisely where the inserted sentence problem comes from. In that situation, the guest post wins outright, because you get to write the relevant page yourself. Or you buy nothing on that site, which is usually the correct answer and the one almost nobody picks. Pricing either of these properly is a separate job, and I have built mine from the cost side elsewhere. The only part relevant here is the ratio. I charge more for the edit because my article already ranks, and a fresh guest post may never rank at all. That one sentence is the entire price gap, and if a seller cannot make that argument about the specific page they are selling you, they are charging edit prices for guest post value. What I cannot tell you, here is my limit, and it is a real one. I have bought 2 guest posts with my own money. I have bought 0 niche edits. Everything I have told you about the edit side comes from the sell side. From being asked for them constantly, from turning most of those requests down, from pricing my own, and from reading pages that other people pay to have edited. That is genuine knowledge, and it is not the same thing as having a ledger of my own purchases to put in front of you. And I cannot give you an effect size. I cannot tell you an edit is worth 1.8 guest posts or any number of that shape. Nobody can from their own data, because the sample any individual buyer has is tiny and everything else on the site moves at the same time. Anyone quoting you a multiplier is quoting a study of somebody else's link graph and hoping yours resembles it. The checklist I run on a page before I agree to an edit, and the exact wording I use when I turn one down, is at theseodesk.com. Subscribe for more on link building.